All right, let's go on a journey, but not across space. No, we're going on an extraordinary journey through time, all the way to the very, very end of the universe itself. Our final destination is a future so incredibly far away, it's almost impossible to wrap your head around. A time long after the last star has burned out, after whole galaxies have dissolved, and even after black holes themselves have vanished. The whole trip is defined by this one single question. Take a look at this. This is 10 quintillion. That's a 1 with 19 zeros after it. 10 billion, billions. It's a number so huge it almost feels meaningless. But this is the kind of timescale we're going to be playing with today. But, before we get to that impossibly distant future, our first stop is actually much, much closer to home. We're jumping forward about 1 billion years from now, just in time to witness the violent death of our very own solar system. You see, the end for our world doesn't start with a big bang, but with heat. In about 1 billion years, our sun will get just hot enough to boil away all of Earth's oceans, turning our planet into a sterile rock. A few billion years after that, it'll swell up into a massive red giant, swallowing Mercury and Venus whole, and probably vaporizing Earth right down to its iron core. And after all that drama, our star finally runs out of fuel and collapses into a tiny, dim ember, a white dwarf, about the size of Earth, just left to cool off forever. So, while our sun is going through its death throes, something truly spectacular is happening on a galactic scale. Our home, the Milky Way, is on a direct collision course with our cosmic neighbor Andromeda. Over millions of years, they're going to dance around each other and merge into one ginormous new galaxy, Milk-Meta. One astronomer described what this would feel like perfectly. He said it'd be like you were in the middle of a giant snow globe that had been shaken violently. Stars and planets get thrown into totally new orbits. But here's the crazy part. Space is so big that even in all that chaos, it's super rare for stars to actually crash into each other. As for our solar system, there's about a 50-50 chance it gets tossed way out of the new galactic core, into the growing darkness of space. All right, hang on, because we're about to take a massive leap forward, across an ocean of time. We are now landing 100 trillion years in the future. And the universe, well, it's undergoing its most profound change yet. The age of light is officially coming to an end. The Stelliferous Era, that's the fancy name for the age of stars. It's over. Done. Ever since the very first star lit up, the universe has been full of light. But now, the raw materials, the hydrogen gas needed to make new stars, it's all used up. The great cosmic star factories are shutting down, and they're not opening again. Every single star, no matter how big or small, has a limited lifespan. The huge ones, they burn out in these spectacular supernova explosions in just a few million years. Stars like our sun last for billions. But by now, even the longest-living, most frugal stars, the tiny red dwarfs, have finally run out of gas. Across the entire cosmos, the lights are going out one by one. With the age of stars over, we're now entering a new, much dimmer chapter in cosmic history, the Degenerate Era. It sounds pretty grim, right? It gets its name from this exotic, super compressed, degenerate matter that makes up the dead stars that now litter the universe. I mean, just look around this future. What you're seeing is a cosmic graveyard. The whole universe is just filled with the corpses of dead stars. The only light you might see comes from a super rare, violent collision between two of these stellar remnants, which could maybe spark a new short-lived star. But mostly, it's just cold, and it is very, very dark. Okay, time to journey even deeper. We're going so far into the future now that it's not just stars that die. The very building blocks of matter itself start to come apart. We are now entering the age of the universe's final, most massive rulers. So, after trillions and trillions of years, a really strange theoretical process called proton decay might start to happen. Now, if this theory is right, it means the protons that make up the atoms in all those stellar corpses, they'll just fall apart, disintegrate. All those white dwarfs and neutron stars will just slowly evaporate into nothingness. And with all other matter gone, the universe is almost completely empty and dark. Its entire mass is locked away inside the last thing standing, black holes. They are the absolute kings of this lonely cosmos. But as we know, even a king's reign must eventually end. Yeah, we used to think nothing could ever escape a black hole's grip, but then the brilliant Stephen Hawking came up with a wild idea for how they could die. It's a process now called Hawking radiation, and basically, black holes slowly leak their mass back out into space. Now, this process is incredibly slow, but over timescales that make all the previous eras look like a blink of an eye, even the biggest, most massive black holes will completely evaporate, disappearing in one last flash of energy. And with that, we have finally arrived at our destination. The last black hole has just evaporated. We are at the very, very end of time, and we're about to witness the ultimate fate of the universe. A Google. That's a 1 followed by 100 zeros. That is the almost nonsensical amount of time it takes for the last supermassive black holes to finally disappear. After a Google years, the black hole era is officially over. And here we are. Welcome to the Dark Era. And here we are. Welcome to the Dark Era. The universe is now just a vast, cold, and almost perfect vacuum. There are no stars, no planets, no black holes, nothing. Just a few stray subatomic particles separated from each other by immense voids of empty space. It is a quiet, desolate, and incredibly lonely place. So this final state is what scientists call the Big Freeze, or the heat death of the universe. It's all driven by dark energy, this mysterious force that just keeps stretching the cosmos apart. Everything cools down to just fractions of a degree above absolute zero. Now, there was another theory for a while called the Big Crunch, where the universe would collapse back on itself and maybe start a new Big Bang. But honestly, all the evidence we have today points to this, a final, endless, and cold expansion. So, in the face of this absolute, final end, is there any hope? Is there any hope for life? Could humanity, or any intelligent consciousness for that matter, find a way to survive the actual death of the universe itself? Okay, what we're about to talk about is pure speculation, but it's really mind-bending to think about. Could we maybe escape to other younger galaxies before they fly too far away? Could we leave our fragile bodies behind and upload our minds to indestructible machines? Or even exist as beings of pure energy? Some scientists have even theorized that an incredibly advanced civilization might learn how to create a brand new universe in a lab, a kind of escape hatch from our old dying one. So, our journey has taken us through the death of suns and the decay of atoms, all the way to a final, cold emptiness. But it leaves us with one last profound thought. When faced with the absolute end of everything, could intelligence be the thing that creates a new beginning? Now that is a question for the future to answer.